Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Stephen Walker, broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be doing a talk tonight on mental health. I do my mental health live stream 2 times a week, Tuesday and Thursday night, from, it goes about 45 minutes to an hour, but here are the time zone differences. We start at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then you work yourself down to the West Coast at 6 p.m. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to develop more self-awareness, why that's important to our mental health. But before we get into that, a couple notes. Again, please remember about my mental health fund. It's called helpahuman.org. It's a fund you can donate to, and people who don't have any money, people who don't have health insurance, people who are struggling with coronavirus these days or whatever it may be, you can donate into this, and you can help somebody who needs help. We're in the midst of a pandemic, and we all need to band together and help each other because there are a lot of people struggling with mental illness. Quick note, we have a great guest coming on Monday. I'm going to post a quick link here to her book. Dr. Carrie Morera. She's going to be coming on. She is a school psychologist, and she's written a book that's coming out soon on remote learning. It gives people practical advice on how to help kids, strategies. If you're struggling with kids at home, here's a great resource you can order. You can ask her questions. She'll be on Thursday night with me, Dr. Carrie Morera, and I will be posting a link to her media information that you can look her up and all that. But anyway, again, remember, these are mental health live streams so that you can ask people questions who are in the field of mental health about any mental illness or anything you may be struggling with that you need some work on. Okay, addiction, anything on your mind. If you're struggling with depression, I try to have a wide range of guests that you can interact with, because what I'm trying to do is demystify the whole process of mental health and mental illness so that you can realize it. There's nothing different than working with somebody like me than working with your dentist, your whatever other cardiologist, whatever other doctor you may be needing help with. There's no shame in having a degree of mental illness. Everyone has a degree of mental illness. We all need to be working on it. We all need to be dealing with it, because if we don't, we're going to just have this world where we just suffer in silence and nobody gets any help, and we just degenerate into more and more polarization that you see everywhere. So let's talk a little bit about our topic for tonight, how to develop more self-awareness, okay, and why that's important when you look at it from a mental health paradigm or the perspective of mental illness and mental health. So I did a live stream a few weeks ago on mindfulness. So mindfulness and self-awareness are kind of the same thing. They're not really the same, but they sort of complement each other. Mindfulness is thinking about my thinking, being aware of what I'm thinking and feeling. Mindfulness can be meditation. Mindfulness can be, just sitting quietly and being aware of sounds around you, being aware of what you're feeling, all incredibly powerful tools. Self-awareness is a little different than that. Here's a link to Carrie's book, by the way, if you want to write this down, for Thursday night. Again, she's a school psychologist coming on to talk about remote learning and giving people, parents or people who have kids at home, practical advice on how to help maximize your kids' potential while they're at home. Please ask questions. Please tune in. Please interact. Okay. So tonight's topic, again, self-awareness. Let's just break that down a little bit into its 2 component words. Self-awareness. Now, what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is a process by which you become aware of yourself. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Hey, Angie, how are you? Now, and again, remember, please, let me just make this perfectly clear. I start with a topic. We don't have to talk about that topic. If there's something on your mind, if there's something going on that you want to engage with me on, and you're not rude, I'm going to read a few interesting comments I've received because they're interesting and they show a complete lack of self-awareness. So self-awareness. being aware of yourself. Now, you might think, well, I am aware of myself. I am aware that I am Dr. Stephen Walker, or I am Bill Smith, or Tim Jones, or Jenny, whatever. You may think that that's self-awareness, and that is a degree of self-awareness in the sense that you're aware that you are a self, you are a human being. Hey, Irene, how are you? That's one level of self-awareness. The self-awareness I'm talking about is being able to be aware of why you are the way you are, who you are, deeper questions about your fundamental beingness. Now, people may say, well, why is that important? Why is that important? Well, let's look at the world around us. Let's just look at, and I always go back to this, let's just look at the political polarization that we see in our country these days. What I see from a psychologist, mental health perspective, someone who's been in the field for, coming up on 25 years, is a complete lack of self-awareness in many cases. You have these people online fueling conspiracy theories or promoting ideas that are so polarized on one side of the spectrum. And I'm not just talking about people on the right, I'm talking about people on the left too. But what it shows is that people aren't questioning who they are. They're not questioning, why do I believe what I believe so much? There are these political podcasters with, millions of followers, and they have they're making quite a bit of money off of their YouTube videos. But basically what they're doing is putting forth the idea that you have to be this or that. You can't allow yourself to have both perspectives and incorporate that into who you are. So how does self-awareness come in? Self-awareness comes in by, and again, remember, self-awareness is a huge topic. I could do, a month's worth of videos or live streams on self-awareness. But for tonight's conversation, I'm just going to be talking about self-awareness as it pertains to mental health and how a lack of self-awareness contributes to a lot of mental illness. So self-awareness is a process by which you begin questioning some of the fundamental beliefs that you have about who you are and why you are the way you are. Now, somebody might ask, well, why is that important? Why is it important to, hey, Debbie, how are you? Thanks for logging on. Why is it important to be self-aware? Well, let's take relationship issues we all have. Let's take, conflict in a marriage, conflict at work, whatever interpersonal relationship you have that you may be in conflict with. How does self-awareness play into that? Well, self-awareness plays into that because a lot of times people are not aware of the belief systems they have going through their head, not only about who they are or who their spouse should be, but what a relationship should be like. Self-awareness is the ability to question, why am I like this? Why am I reacting to this person the way I am? Why am I so convinced that I'm right? Why am I so convinced that this person's wrong? Why can't I apologize? Why can't I own that it's my fault if it is? Self-awareness allows people to question who they are. Think of what the two words mean. Let's flip them around. Awareness of self. Awareness of self in relation to other people. A lot of people aren't even when I get a new client or a new patient, they come to me and they really just don't know why they are the way they are, why they feel the way they feel. The question I ask is, Doc, am I going crazy? Am I crazy? Am I just losing my mind? Hey, Janie, how are you? I'll get to that. I'll get to all questions and comments in a little bit, Janie. Thank you for sharing that with us. So that is what self-awareness will help us do. It'll help us become aware of what we think. That's where the mindfulness piece comes in. The process of being aware of yourself allows you to step back from who you think you are and who you think you believe yourself to be, and allows you to step back from it with a little objective viewpoint. Buddhists call it developing a witnessing presence. You become a witnesser to your thoughts without being overly affected by them. So let's talk about it in terms of a real world example. And you guys have heard me say this many times on these live streams about racism, okay? There are no born racists on the planet. I'm sorry. I know hardcore people, white supremacists or Black Lives Matter or whoever it may be that's espousing the idea. And I'm not saying Black Lives Matters are racist or white supremacy. I'm just saying using those as extreme examples of a degree of racism that somebody can have because they're angry at the other. So let's take that as a construct, racism. My 5-year-old kid sitting right here doesn't have a racist bone in his body. Now, if I teach him that throughout years and years of conditioning, he's going to grow up and identify himself, self-awareness. He's going to be aware of himself as a racist. He might not even be aware of himself actually as a racist. He will identify as that. But let's say as he grows up, he starts having, friends who are Black, white, whatever, and it starts kind of calling into question about this belief system he has. Self-awareness comes in by him beginning to ask himself questions like, why am I the way I am? Why do I feel this way? Why am I so angry at people? Why am I so hateful? The person needs to become aware of themselves in order to affect a change. Okay. Now let's take a motivated racist who doesn't want to be a racist and an unmotivated racist who is okay with being a racist. A motivated racist, and again, I'm just using racism as an example. We could use it for addiction. We could use it for low self-esteem. We could use it for eating disorders. We could use it for whatever other mental illness people struggle with. And do I consider racism a mental illness? Hell yeah. Do I consider racism a mental illness? Because what's happening is that the person who is a racist is not aware of how their racism is pure conditioning. It's pure conditioning. They may identify with it, but they haven't reached a level of self-awareness to say, well, hey, wait a second. Why am I like this? Why am I the way that I am? That is what I see with a lot of people who come to me to work on certain issues. They're not aware of why they are the way they are. And the self-awareness piece comes in by helping people become aware of who they are in the present moment. Now, I'll come back to this in a second, but I want to talk about another layer of self-awareness that a lot of people don't talk about or a lot of people aren't aware of. Awareness of your conditioned self. Okay, that's a key component to working on and developing your self-awareness. If you're aware of how you were conditioned, again, let's go back to the racist example. If a racist becomes aware of their conditioned self, then they're able to question that. They're able to work through that in a way that they begin realizing, well, wait a minute. And this could be for anything. This could be for any belief system that you have that is either causing you impairment or distress or people around you impairment or distress. Okay. And this is one of the things that people are not doing enough of on this planet. People are not stopping and becoming self-aware of why they think the way they do, why they are the way they are. An example I use in a lot of my sessions is, the 1,000-year-old battle between Jews and Muslims, raging for thousands of years. Okay, we're not conscious. People are not conscious of why they hate another person enough to call it into question. People don't like to say, well, wait a minute, why am I hating this Jewish person or this Muslim person? What will that bring? What has hating each other done for years, for tens of thousands of years? Well, maybe not tens of thousands, but you know what I mean? Thousands of years. And it can be any other group of people on this planet. But self-awareness allows an individual to step out of their conditioning, their conditioned self-awareness, and say, wait a second. I mean, so, okay, why am I hating you? Why am I not getting along with you? But see, the problem is that, and I'm going to get to your comments in a sec, Janie. I want to address some of that and engage with you a little bit. Again, remember, guys, just to hit the pause button for a second. These mental health live streams are for you to engage with me about what kind of mental illness or what you're struggling with. Okay, so if you have something on your mind, talk about it. Ask me a question. If it's off topic, it doesn't matter. Remember, the only reason I start with a topic is because I think it's interesting and it can help people with their mental health or mental illness, but it's to get people kind of warmed up to the idea of just engaging with a mental health professional about whatever is on their mind, whatever is, sorry, I just got a text from a client, whatever is going on within them so that you can engage with me about it, okay? So self-awareness allows a person to begin questioning why they feel the way they feel about something. You become aware of yourself in the moment and you begin asking yourself, well, wait a minute, why am I thinking or feeling what I'm feeling? Why am I hating liberals? Why am I hating Republicans? What is that going to solve? Why am I hating my wife? Why am I hating my husband? What can I do to improve my relationship? But like I was saying before I hit the pause button, the reason a lot of people don't like to develop or work on their self-awareness is it because it causes some insecurity. Hey, Kat, how are you? Because it causes people to be insecure and to doubt who they are. They begin, oh, well, wait a minute. If I would learn to be a racist, then who am I? Then what does that mean? What does that mean about me? Hey, Miranda, how are you? Who am I? If I'm not who I think I am, then exactly, fear. Exactly. People become afraid and they feel insecure. But the problem is that unless we as a planet begin questioning and becoming aware of why we are who we are, we're not going to evolve. In fact, we're going to devolve because we're splitting off more and more into these polarized tribal factions without stopping and asking ourselves in the moment, why am I doing this? Why am I the way I am? Self-awareness allows us to become conscious of who we are and why we think the way we think. It's the beginning. Sure, there's some insecurity and a little bit of self-doubt or some self-doubt that can creep in. But if you continue pushing through that, you begin expanding your consciousness and your awareness into a place where you begin literally thinking about why you do what you do. I don't mean second guessing. I mean questioning. Why am I about to hit my wife? Why am I about to abuse my child? Why am I going to do something negative? What's my motivation for doing something positive here? What am I trying to get out of it? These are questions we need to ask. One of the keys to what everyone's talking about these days, which is narcissism. The key component that holds narcissists together is a lack of empathy, a lack of caring, a lack of concern for the other person. Now, where does a lack of empathy develop? I mean, where do you learn to not care about other people? We are not born like this, people. I know people like to think, oh, the negative is the true representation of who we are. And if you're religious and Christian, you believe you're a born sinner and all of these things. The truth of the matter is, people, people are born with almost like blank slates for the most part. And we'll say, well, genetics comes in. Well, maybe you haven't heard of epigenetics. Epigenetics is the idea that your environment begins switching your gene to express themselves in different ways through your personality and your feelings. We need to become more aware of who we are. We need to become more aware of our place on this planet instead of looking at it in terms of black, white, US, Mexico, so whatever, Russia. we need to start thinking about why I am the way I am. We need to be aware of how our conditioning is affecting us. So let's say you have narcissistic personality tendencies where people around you are telling you you're getting a vibe from close people around you. Hey man, I don't get the feeling you care too much about things and you're very centered on yourself. This is a moment of self-awareness, like, that's interesting. I need to think about that. I need to take that feedback and work on it. But what do? Oh, I'm not like that. What are you talking about? Or true narcissists will be like, yeah, that's who I am. But they don't stop and question, what can I do about this? What can I do to care about people more? Okay. So I'm going to hit the pause button here because I'm going to address Janie's question, and then I'm going to come back to self-awareness. But again, guys and gals, please remember, this is about a live stream to engage with you about mental health, mental illness, or whatever is on your mind, okay? So if you have something you've been struggling with for a while, post a question or a comment so that we can talk about it openly, and I can give you I'm not going to do therapy so much, but I'm going to help show you what you could work on to help push you in a direction where you begin feeling that there's hope for whatever pain or thing you're struggling with. So Janie's saying, hey doc, I'm spent. I've had some very unhealthy thoughts lately. Okay, Janie, what kind of unworthiness is a female? So Janie, let's relate that back to our conversation tonight, which is about self-awareness. So when you say unworthiness as a female, I think you have a follow-up down here. Tonight, I took a shower and debated on my life or death. Would they even know me? Whatever, meaning, would anyone ever know that you passed away? How much of myself have I shared? And again, see, Janie, these are all good questions to ask yourself. And if somebody is having suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideation, that's usually a sign that you need to work on something within yourself that is causing you to feel that way. Self-awareness comes in where I would say to Janie, when you say unworthiness as a female, what are you talking about? Why are you unworthy? What is going on? Where did you learn to feel unworthy? Hey, can you turn that down a little, please? Thank you. Sorry, my 5-year-old loves to be in here when I'm talking. So, where did you learn to feel unworthy? And Janie, you and I have talked about this. You and I have I mean, on these live streams. This is a byproduct of your trauma. This is a byproduct of some of that stuff you had going on with your dad when he passed away, and things related to your own lack of value. Self-awareness comes in and allows people to question, hey, why am I like this? Why do I feel unworthy? What am I doing that's causing me to feel unworthy? What am I doing? And again, guys, if you're watching this, please share this. Please normalize conversations about mental health and mental illness. Share this into groups. Share this on your homepage. We need to timeline, whatever it may be. I'm not that versed in social media, but we need to be aware. We need to be okay with working on our issues. Everyone has issues. Everyone has a degree of mental illness. Everyone. Okay, Janie's saying all my brothers have been praised and us 3 girls were never mentioned. Well, there you go, Janie. It's learned behavior. It's learned. You learned this. You learned to not be able to praise yourself. Okay? This is learned behavior. Part of what happens with people is they're not even aware of how their conditioning, their trauma, what they learned as a kid has affected them. Thanks, David, for your comment. I'll get to it in a second. Thank you. Great comment. But this is what I would encourage you to do, Janie, is ask yourself, where did I learn this? She's following up saying, I have always felt invisible. Well, again, Janie, always felt. Let's break that down a little bit. always felt. That means that you are consistently feeling, obviously, consistently feeling something, but that's the key. That's why I'm pointing that out. Because you're consistently feeling it, it feels natural. Now, does that make it natural that you should feel you should be invisible? Of course not. Of course not. You wouldn't be feeling invisible if people had praised you more. And what I'm guessing, Janie, is you have probably trouble giving yourself praise, giving yourself acknowledgement, acknowledging the good that you do. That would be one of the first things I would work on if we were working together. Getting you to be self-aware, aware of your self-talk. Being conscious of what Janie is telling Janie. Listen, people, I cannot impress upon you enough how lack of self-awareness is one of the big problems we have on this planet. People are so, and David, who's new here, thanks, David, is talking about, I learned to feel unworthy at a Southern Baptist church when I was 10 years old. And I'm not here to run down religion, okay? I am not. I was raised Catholic. I'm not Catholic anymore, but I am absolutely a believer that we are part of something larger. Absolutely a believer that there's a higher power, that there are different levels of awareness. 100% that I believe that. There's no way you can look up into the night sky and not think you're part of something larger. I don't know what it is, but we're part of something larger, okay? But anyway, the point is that religion is one of the culprits when it comes to making people believe that their religion is the way and everyone else is wrong. And that lack of self-awareness is why we see Christian extreme violence, Muslim extreme violence. There's violence in all religions. There's violence. There's sanctioned violence to women. There's all kinds of negativity that's associated with religion. I'm not saying all religion is bad. All I'm saying is that if your level of self-awareness is such that you believe your religion is the right way and every other religion is the wrong way, that is a moment to become self-aware and say, well, wait a minute. I mean, come on, it's possible that my religion and their religion could both be right. It's possible that all religions are right, and we don't need to say, well, we're the chosen ones or whatever. Anyway, the point is with self-awareness. So I'm going to get more to your question in a second, David. I'm just using it as an example. Self-awareness helps people step out of their little haze, their little filter that they have, that they see through everything, that they see things through, and question it. People are so convinced that they know who they are, and all I see when I turn on the media or look at other people online is a level of delusion, meaning that the delusion comes from the belief that they are absolutely correct in what they believe. And this absolutism, this extremism is fueling all kinds of problems. I mean, what happened to compromise? What happened to people's ability to allow opposing thoughts to enter into their mind so that they begin to create balance? Self-awareness is one of the keys to that because it allows people to think about who they are. Janie's saying, I have been single for 16 years since my divorce, still feeling invisible and wondering if I can ever come out of this shell of self-protection. Absolutely, you can, Janie, but sister, you've got to work on it. You've got to work on it, okay? You've got to begin realizing that this shell of self-protection, sister, is conditioning. It's conditioning. You learn to self-protect because of the pain you went through when you were younger and the lack of love or the lack of attention you got growing up, Janie. This is one of the main things that I see over and over with people. You feel invisible. Okay, Janie, you weren't born that way. Janie, imagine if you had had a family or parents who didn't make you feel invisible. Would you feel invisible? Of course, I know it's like, duh, but that's my point. That's my point. People aren't identifying that the feelings of invisibility that you're having, Janie, are a manifestation of conditioning and trauma. And that is where the work you get to, you begin working with people on. You begin processing through that. And that takes training, experiencing. Let me try that again. Training, experience, and licensing. You need to work with people on your mental health and these emotional and psychological states from people who know how to help you through it. And I know you turn on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and everyone's a mental health expert. Everyone's going to give you advice on how to deal with negative thoughts, and everyone's going to tell you how to be more motivated and all this. And no one's questioning, I'm sorry, what basis? Like, who are you? Why do you believe this can help me? What training do you have? What experience do you have? It helped you. So that means that we need to question the source of this mental health advice we're getting. If you're going to question the source of your medical advice, if you're going to take financial advice from somebody, I just hope you're going to take financial advice from somebody who's financially successful. Okay. Not somebody who will try this. And most people who are giving you mental health advice have issues out the wazoo. Okay. So anyway, Janie, you got to work on those feelings of invisibility. Okay. So maybe I will be calling you for a session or 2 or 3. I trust you. Okay. Thanks. I'm blessed to have tons of people. I will do my best to work you in, but yes, Janie, send me a message and we'll figure it out. But Janie, that last message you sent me is the real Janie coming through. That's the healing part of you that's saying, yeah, maybe it's possible I can work through this shell of self-protection. Maybe I can identify that this is just a conditioned self-awareness that I have been keeping for years and years and perpetuating because I am not realizing what it is. And no, people, it's not as easy as, oh, I learned that, so now I'm going to unlearn it, because you can't unlearn anything. Anybody who tells you can unlearn something, run for the hills, okay? You cannot unlearn anything. This is one of the delusions that these self-helpers think, that you can unlearn things. You can't unlearn things, people. Can you learn new ways of thinking and being? Absolutely, okay? All I'm saying is self-awareness is one of the keys to mental health, because self-awareness allows you to become aware of yourself. And like I said before, that's the first layer. The second layer is becoming aware of your conditioned self. And it may sound easy, but it ain't, because it takes work to learn a new way of thinking and a new way of being. So Janie, I hope that helps. Absolutely. So let me get to a couple more comments here. Sharon is saying fear. Absolutely, Sharon. Fear is one of the things that keeps people locked in these cycles. And somebody once, I didn't do it, but somebody broke down fear into an acronym, FEAR, false evidence appearing real. Absolutely. Fear is false evidence appearing real. What's the false evidence that appears real to most people? Oh man, I'm never going to be able to change. I'm going to be broken for life. None of this is ever going to work. I can't break out of this. Oh man, I hate myself. I hate how I feel. Why am I like this? Oh, I'm never going to be able to change. These wounds will never heal. I'm always going to be stuck in this. I've been stuck in this for all these years, that I'm never going to be stuck in it. I'm never going to get out of it. Nobody's going to love me. I'm always going to be treated invisibly. I'm never going to break out of this. That is the fear controlling how we think and feel. And most fear is made worse by our conditioning. We need fear, people. We need fear. We would not be here as a species if Cro-Magnon man and woman were fearless. They didn't care. Oh no, let me go check out that cliff. Fear is a very real component of who we are, but people aren't even aware. Thank you for your comment, Sharon. People aren't even aware. Why am I so afraid? Why am I so afraid? I was working with a client patient today, and the person was talking about wanting to start a business, but the fear they have about doing that. And as we began unpacking that, the person began realizing that Their fear of failure, their fear that if they fail is going to confirm that they're a failure, has been holding them back. Now, was it now they're cured? No, there's layers that we need to work through, but it's self-awareness. It's awareness of why we are the way we are. We would have a totally different planet if people were stopping in the moment. Why am I hating myself so much? Why am I doubting myself so much? Oh yeah. And they were working through these issues. We would have less violence. We would have more of a sense of unity with each other. We would begin seeing ourselves as part of a larger whole, as opposed to these individualistic pieces that have nothing to do with each other. That is one of the main things that is affecting us as an American culture, is individualism. This idea that, oh, no, and my way, but we're not stopping in the moment and asking, wait a minute, why are other countries collectivistic? Why do they look out for each other? Why do they work together? Why is our infection rate one of the highest on the planet? Why do I not care about somebody else? Why is wearing a mask a threat to my sovereignty as a person? Anyway, Trish, I'm an empath and I have been avoiding learning more about my own feelings. Okay, Trish, thank you for sharing that. I have a narcissist attached to me for 7 years. I've heard empaths are like magnets to them. Great question. Let me see here. Wow, great participation with people. I got to get moving here to get to some of these, but thank you for asking these questions and comments. Well, Jane, I'm sorry, Trish, I would say to you, what's going on with you avoiding learning about your own feelings, sister? Like, what is in there? Is there some trauma in there that you don't want to face? And I'm not saying that that's not real, but that's the self-awareness, is becoming, okay, well, I'm avoiding learning more about my own feelings because I'm afraid of what I may learn. I'm afraid of what I may be exposed to. And yes, your comment about a narcissist attached to me for 7 years, I've heard empaths are like magnets to them. Well, I mean, I don't know about whether or not you're a magnet to them, because that sounds like you're blaming yourself for this person's presence in your life. What I can tell you, Trish, is that there's and I would use a different word with my kids in the room, there's a boatload of narcissists on this planet. There's a lot of narcissists. So I don't know, are you a magnet for rain if you go out in a rainstorm? I don't know, Trish. It sounds to me like you're blaming yourself for, or somehow holding yourself responsible for this narcissist. And what I would say is, when you say attached to me for 7 years, if I was working with you, we'd break that down. What does that mean, attached? How are they attached? Why are they attached? What are you getting out of that attachment? There's this thing called codependency that people mistake for dependency, but codependency is you get addicted, you get dependent on somebody else's illness. That's where codependency came out of, addiction treatment, where somebody has an addiction and the person who's taking care of them becomes addicted, becomes dependent on their addiction. So Trish, I would encourage you to start asking yourself, why am I avoiding learning more about my own feelings? What am I afraid to learn? What am I afraid that's in there? Okay, Trish. Let's see. Sharon is saying meditation is a wonderful way to cultivate self-awareness. The blank men, Sharon. Meditation, there's a reason meditation has been around for tens of thousands of years. Meditation is an awesome way of cultivating self-awareness, depending on which one you do. I do one with all my patients and clients who are open to it called Vipassana meditation. It's an Indian form of meditation. And I combine that with mindfulness, and I combine that with other things I do. But absolutely, meditation is a great way to develop self-awareness. Thanks for that, Sharon. Dave, what's up, David? I learned to feel unworthy at a Southern Baptist church when I was 10 years old. So David, I don't know if you're still on, man. But can you follow up with me on that if you're still on? What's going on with the unworthy? Are you still feeling unworthy? You said learned, so that's I'm wondering, are you still teaching it to yourself? Are you still learning it, or have you worked on it? But like I said before, I'm not running down religion. Religion does a lot of good on the planet too. I'm not saying it's all bad. The problem I have with a lot of organized religion is it separates us even more into factions, into tribes, and this, so that I gotta kill you because and I can be, and well, and no, I'm not gonna, but I'm gonna support, I'm gonna be pro-life, but then I'm not gonna wear a mask. I'm gonna be pro-life, but I'm gonna be in favor of war. And there's a lot of hypocrisy. And all I'm saying is, if you're coming out of a very significant amount of religious indoctrination or religious conditioning, and it's taught you to feel unworthy, I'm sorry, I can't speak for God, but if we're made in God's image, I don't think God wants us to feel unworthy, but that's a whole nother conversation. So Sharon saying, I see you, Janie. Thank you. Kat saying it's Amity. I've been solely in control and it's taking a toll on me. Okay, Kat. So an Amity. So people who don't know, Kat is multiple personality disorder, which is now called DID, dissociative identity disorder. So Amity, what I would encourage you to do is try to coax Kat out. Tell her that she can handle the death of her mom. She can deal with it. It's okay that she's still mourning the loss of her mom. Try to soothe her. Try to let her know it's taking a toll on you. Ask her for help. Tell her it's okay that she's bumming, that she's upset, that she feels alone. Try to coax her. You guys all need to start working to support. Kat's the hub of the wheel. You guys are the spokes. You got to start working together. But thanks for sharing. Let's see here. Angie, hey Angie, how are you? Angie said, I said last time how I was annoyed with everyone and everything, felt put upon. After hearing maybe I'm projecting, I thought about it, and yes, I was upset with myself. Beautiful, Angie, thanks for sharing that. I was upset with myself for being upset, exactly, with my work being too much, upset with myself for wanting to talk to someone and not being able to, telling myself how stupid I am and how very, very tired and very, very tired. Got some sleep, told myself it's okay to be upset with myself and others, and anyways, it helped. Great to hear, Angie. So just to take that a little further, remember, when I talk about the it's okay pill, it's the person saying to themselves, it's okay that I feel how I feel. I'm not going to hate myself for feeling this way. I'm not going to love myself either, but I'm going to accept it and I got to work on it. So Angie, you got to keep pushing a little bit further. Why am I so upset with myself? Why am I putting so much pressure on myself? What is going on? Why am I talking to myself? Why am I treating myself this way? These are all the things we need to keep working on, Angie, because that, and again, Angie, you know, when you say no one to talk to, you got my private cell number. You can text me and we can coordinate something too. So, but Angie, keep talking to Angie. Keep working on Angie's relationship with Angie, your relationship with yourself. And again, this is, you know, parts company with a lot of religious people. Your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship you have. Your relationship with you will control your relationship with God. Where's my finger? Your relationship with God, your relationship with your spouse, your friends, whatever. If you hate you, if you're in a state of self-hatred, you will project that outward. Most people aren't even aware that they're in a state of self-hatred. Hey, let's try that again. A state of self-hatred. Most people aren't even aware of that. Okay? That's self-aware. Why am I hating myself so much? What's going on there? Hey buddy, you okay? Okay. Why am I what have I done? What have I done to deserve this level of self-hatred? Okay. David's following up, which self are we aiming to become more aware of? Self is a spiritual being having human experience. Amen. Wayne Dyer was a great one. He's the first one I heard ever saying that we're not human beings with a spirit. We're spiritual beings in human form. Self as a human living on earth, or self as a member of humanity, or self as an individual, or self as a profession, or in the career of our choice, or a conditioned self. I would say, David, all of the above. All of the above, my brother. It doesn't have to be or, it's and. I was telling a new client today, that I do not believe psychology is the answer to everything. It's mind, body, spirit. You got to work on what you're putting in your body, food wise, exercise. I am a firm believer that spirituality, and real quick, my definition of spirituality isn't religious spirituality. It's spirituality as a whole, meaning that we are all connected. Everything is connected to everything. There is no separation. Separation is an illusion. Just because we can't see see the connection doesn't mean we're not connected. Things are intricately connected. That's what spirituality is to me. So yes, David, excellent comment, my brother. Please come back. Please share this if you're and please get other people, because you seem like a very intelligent, self-aware individual. But I would just change the or to and, because you are all of those, my brother. You're all of what you're talking about. You don't have to have dichotomized personalities or trichotomized or plural. You can have a plurality of selves, okay? Miranda's saying, I feel I do too much for people to where they start to expect it, where I put myself in a position to be taken advantage of. I put myself on the back burner to where others end up being the most important and I'm left hanging. Now it's all piled up to where I try to change it and I end up losing the battle. It's never ending battle. Excellent, Miranda. Thank you for that. What I would say, my sister, is you've got to change some of this negative self-talk to, I'm proud of the fact that I put myself in a position not to be taken advantage of, but I'm glad that I am selfless. I like that I'm like this. You don't stigmatize the fact that you care and you want to help others, Miranda. It's just a matter of finding that degree, finding your ability to take care of Miranda. I don't know what happened to Miranda growing up. You can fill me in if you want later, downstream here, but it sounds like little Miranda was put in a position of being parentified as a kid. Could be wrong, meaning parentification is a child put in a role of parent way too early, and they take on too much responsibility. They take on too much feeling that I have to provide for everybody. And Miranda, I would ask you to be self-aware. What am I getting out of this? What's the payoff for me? What do I get out of putting everyone's needs above my own? Is that self-esteem issues? Do I not believe that I have value and I have to put everyone's needs above mine? Do I feel better about myself putting everyone's needs over mine? Is my self-awareness that of a giver only? Excellent, Miranda. Question that. Why do I put myself in a position to be taken advantage of? What's going on if I don't? What's my fear? Like somebody said earlier, fear. What's my fear if I don't allow myself to be taken advantage of? Hey, Sam, how are you? Samantha saying, hello, Amity. I'm so sorry. Death is so difficult. I'm praying. Great. Thank you. God sends comfort. Great. Sharon is saying, some may say there are only two emotions, love or fear. Good book is Love is Letting Go of Fear by Gerald Jabal. Yeah, I read that. That's an old book. That's a great book, Sharon. But I would say that there are not only two emotions, love or fear. Let's look at love or fear, sister, if you want to, using your model, those are two ends of the spectrum, okay? There's a whole bunch in between here. We don't need to dichotomize and think it's either or. Okay, it can be both. We can have love and fear coexist and begin to manage it. Okay, self-awareness is, wait a minute, why am I thinking that I have to either be this or that? And again, going back politically, why do I have to be a Republican or a Democrat? Like I said before, I'm a Demopublican. I have beliefs on both. I allow myself to have both beliefs. Actually, if you ever want to check out one of my websites, it's demopublicans.org. It's the idea that we need to allow ourselves to have both exist. So Sharon, let love and fear coexist. Don't put them like this. Let them coexist like this and see what comes out of that. But no, I do not believe there are only two emotions. I don't. Yeah. Okay, baby. So I would say, Sharon, to you, because you obviously seem like an intelligent person, question that. Okay. And Love is Letting Go of Fear. Great title. Okay. Now don't get me started on the whole idea of letting go. Okay. Because I would say that you can't let go of something like fear. Okay. That's just, I get the premise of the book because it was that and Bernie Siegel. These are some of the people I was reading early on in my process. I would say love is accepting fear and managing it. Okay. Let's see here. Hey Juan, how you doing, buddy? Irene is saying, yes, this is true. I too am an empath, and I just left a 10-year narcissistic relationship. Well, Irene and whoever we're talking about, empaths and narcissists, but you got to start asking yourself, what is going on with my inability to be empathetic towards myself? And I know what empathy is, but you know what I mean? Why am I not able to feel for me? Why is it always me being put in a position of needing to feel for the other person? Why am I avoiding feeling for myself? Listen, people, I'm a professional empath in the sense that I can't do this work if I'm not empathetic, but empathy needs to be managed. You need to be able to manage your empathy. Otherwise, you're going to be full. You're going to be like the sponge. And there are multiple different models for being an empath. Sponge isn't the only one. Sponge is the most dangerous one because that means you're absorbing everybody's stuff and you have no way of getting it out of you. There are multiple forms of being an empath. You can be the stone too. Let the emotions go around you once in a while. You can be the window. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of them. But yes, Irene, I would have you question, become self-aware and think, what is going on with this idea that a narcissistic relationship is, I'm a magnet for that. It sounds like victim blaming to me. Okay. Sharon saying not wearing a mask, perhaps some psychological reactance, a common response to do exactly the opposite of what is one being told to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what I think it is, Sharon? I think it's that whole individualism, this idea that the most important thing to me is preserving my individuality and no one to collectivism. We need a combination of individualism and collectivism because absolutely we are responsible for each other's health. Absolutely we need to take responsibility for how we affect other people. Absolutely. Now, does that mean take it to the point where all you do is take other people's things in and not? No, it's about moderation. But absolutely, Sharon, it could be that psychological reactings. Exactly. I hate gay people. Whoa, now people find out I'm secretly gay, or I hate this person. I'm guilty of the same thing. Absolutely. Miranda's saying, I see me doing the same cycle in my new relationship. I try and catch it and put it in reverse and stop the cycle, but I'm not sure I'm doing a great job at it. Keep being aware of it, Miranda. What I would say to tweak that is don't worry about putting it in reverse or stopping the cycle. Being aware of the cycle is stopping the cycle. Okay, don't worry about going into reverse or anything. Focus on going forward with where you want to be. Be aware that you're falling back into the cycle. Take the it's okay pill. It's okay that I'm falling back into the cycle. I'm not going to hate myself for feeling this way. And then work on being how you want to be in the relationship. Talk to your partner about the cycle. Talk to them. Converse with them about ways they can help you not be in the cycle. Great job, Miranda. That self-awareness is growing. David saying, I made the mistake of believing the preacher. I hear you, brother. I hear you. And those preachers, man, who knows what's going on behind them. So she can't, Kat saying she can't. She had a failed attempt the other night. Looks like you guys may need to up that level of care. Okay, so whoever in charge, we need to put in a text or a call to the team and get Kat protected. Okay, Kat, if you're in there and you can hear me, keep working on those feelings, Kat, but get the help you need. Okay, don't just think you can handle it by yourself. Irene saying empaths are the opposite of narcissists. They see in us what they wish but can't be. Maybe true. Sounds good. Read up on narcissistic personality disorder. With wisdom will come strength. Then you'll be able to work on you once you get away from the narcissist. Oh, she's replying to Trish. Yeah, true. But I would say again, Irene, that empaths, I don't know if they're the opposite of narcissists, because I've found that what masquerades as narcissism and lack of empathy is fear, as somebody said before, and lack of self-awareness and conditioning, learning that this is the way you treat people. But no, yeah, I like your comment. That's spot on in many ways. One is saying all self we are the sum of our parts. Absolutely. Can my daddy hear me? That's a good question, Janie. That's afterlife stuff. And, I think whether or not he can hear you, you need to hear yourself talking to your dad. You need to hear yourself working through like your dad can hear you, not for him, for you. So there's an exercise that psychologists use called the empty chair. And I'm not saying you should do this because I don't want you to get flooded, but where we have a patient client talking to an empty chair, but imagining that the person who hurt them is in that chair, and you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. Okay. You're welcome, David. Hey, please log on again, brother. I haven't seen you here before. Or maybe I haven't, I'm forgetting, but you're not ringing a bell. So, but thank you for your comments, and keep working on that religious conditioning, my brother. God doesn't want us to hate ourselves, people. At least not the God I believe in. Angie saying, biggest reason I'm hating myself is because I want to make the separation legal. The marriage is over. I want to make it over legally. I'm scared. Next, I'm upset with myself for not being able to say enough is enough. I cannot do any more. I just accept more and more, and then get too tired. And well, it goes down from there. Oh, well, I feel you, sister. That's a difficult place to be. Like I always say, stuck sucks when you feel stuck and you can't. But Angie, you got to dump tons of self-compassion onto yourself, okay? You can't be upset at yourself for not being able to say enough is enough. There are a lot of reasons why you can't say enough is enough. Fear, finances, what's going to happen. You got to bring in the self-compassion here, Angie, and say, it's okay that I feel this way, but what can I do? Let me work on that pessimism. Let me work on the belief that it's just going to keep going downhill, okay? We need to keep working on that relationship with yourself, Angie. That is critical here. It sounds like you're moving towards kind of something here, and maybe, what you just came out of with that legal issue help sort of put things in context, but don't try to minimize how much you're upset with yourself for not being able to say enough is enough, okay? That is one of the keys. You've got to, if you were working with a domestic battery at a domestic battery shelter, you're not going to go in there and be like, I'm upset with you women, you haven't been able to say enough. They're going to look at you like, dude, you're victim blaming. There are a lot of reasons why you can't say enough is enough, okay? Bring in the self-compassion, bring in the self-awareness. Oh, no, I'm not going to hate myself for not being able to say enough is enough. But let me see what little change I can make, okay? Candace, hey, Candace. Oh, my God, my mom did it to me when I was a kid and doing it to me again. Damn it all. I hear you, Candace. I hear you. And we're going to work on that. But, all of the stuff that's coming out for you now, Candace, is you facing that relationship with your mom, that anger, that justifiable anger. Just keep taking massive doses of the It's Okay pill. You're working through that deeper layer. Make the feelings okay. I know, damn it all, but remember, don't damn what is going to help you heal. I know we look at pain as like, I got to get rid of the pain. I got to get rid of the pain. No, the pain is part of the healing. There's wisdom in the pain. I'm not talking about too much. Let me hit myself and I'm smart. But you know what I mean? The pain you're feeling is a necessary part to the healing. If you weren't in all that pain, you would never have sought out the healing years ago. So try to just take, it's okay. It's okay. How I feel, and not to get into too many details, but Candace, remember, you got every right in the world to be angry at your mom, but we got to manage that. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, cool. Let's see. Miranda saying, I'm looked at by most as unable to survive this world on my own because of my disability. There are a lot to explain in that. There's a lot. Okay. It would be more than that. There is time. Okay. I appreciate that. But when you say I am looked at by most as unable to survive this world on my own because of my disability, well, I don't know what your disability is, but I feel you on that. But again, remember, just because they're looking at you as unable to survive in the world, you don't necessarily have to look at yourself that way. Now, what I would do to maybe challenge a little bit that belief is that a projection? Is it you believing you can't survive in the world because of your disability, and you're projecting that out on the people around you? I don't know, but all my empathy to you, sister, if you're struggling with a disability, because having any kind of physical, emotional, whatever disability, psychological disability, just adds more challenge to you. That's why Miranda needs to start working on self-compassion. That's why Miranda needs to work on Miranda's relationship with Miranda, okay? Irene saying, I'm working on this. For me, it's how I was raised, family drama. Right, Irene, but that's my point, sister. When you realized you were raised to be a racist, I'm not saying you, but raised in a dysfunctional way, that is the key, okay? You begin more aware of that. But Irene, I don't know how much, if you've ever worked with somebody like me, I'm not saying to work with me, but I'm saying work with, if you've ever worked through some of the family drama to uncover it, okay? Kat saying, I have, there's a nurse here again, beautiful. Sharon is saying, also interested to explore is we humans are used to you are this or that, exactly, because of the liminal zone. Yes. Oh, wow. Liminal zone. Nice. Haven't heard that in a while. Sometimes makes people more comfortable. I say, let's explore the uncomfortability because, hey, why not? Exactly. Exactly. We need to explore the uncomfortability. We need to allow, be aware, self-aware of the opposite. Why is it that I hate these liberals so much? Or why is it that I hate these conservatives so much? And that is the beginning of allowing, oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I can see where you're coming from. Oh, you mean, that's the ability to allow. It doesn't have to be this or that, people. It doesn't have to be this or that. It can be this and that. This and that. All right. Sharon saying, thank you, Dr. Orker, for this. I will definitely join. Oh, great. And please, thank you. And please share this, please. Janie's saying, I know I have been flooded seeing daddy die, and still somehow cannot get it out. I just feel weaker every year. Well, Janie, let's, I mean, you threw it out there. Shoot me a message. I do accept some health insurance plans, not all of them. But let's figure it out. Let's get on some calls and work through some of that. When you say you've been flooded by seeing daddy die, maybe we need to re-explore that, and so we can build up some tolerance to those thoughts and emotions. Samantha saying, this summer is my 50th anniversary of surviving childhood abuse. Well, woohoo, beautiful, Samantha. I don't know if you've ever thought about getting some mental health training, sister. You could get a master's degree in 2.5 years sometimes, and you could be working and helping people. As anyone who works with me knows, I talk openly about some of the trauma I've been through and how I've incorporated that healing, because I healed and worked and still working on that, and how I use that in to help others. So Samantha, yeah, congratulations, sister. Yes, I am mad and I like it. Okay, Candace, cool. When you say I like it, I know what you're saying. You're not hating it. Good, because there are some justifiable reasons you're angry. Miranda saying, I feel it's them. I feel I look at myself like anyone else until someone else brings it up. Well, then that sounds to me like you need to bring it up in yourself more. You need to expose yourself more to those feelings of inadequacy, Miranda. And I got to take it easy on Miranda, especially if you're dealing with a disability. Okay. Okay, people, excellent participation tonight. I want to remind everyone, Thursday night, 7 o'clock Mountain, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. On the West Coast. We have a school psychologist coming on. Let me pull up her info real quick. Her name is Dr. Carrie Morera. Okay, she wrote a book on remote learning. I'll repost that link here. Please check out her book. Okay, pre-order it if you want to know about how to help kids maximize their learning potential during this pandemic. Check it out. Okay. All right, people. Well, thank you for all the participation. Work on your self-awareness. Please remember my mental health fund. Please, if you know somebody with, looking for something to do with some money they have, direct them here. This is a fund I've set up to help people who can't afford their deductibles or the rate. I wish I could give it away. If somebody wants to pay my mortgage and all my taxes and all my student loans and everything I'm still paying off, I gladly work for free. Everything that's donated into this fund goes towards helping people. Every single penny I use to offset free sessions I do, drastically reduce rates I give people, co-pays, all of that. Okay, so check that out if you get a chance. Okay, I'll see you Thursday night at 7 o'clock Mountain. Well, here are the times. Please tune in, ask Dr. Morera some questions. If you have kids learning at home, check out the link I posted about her book. Order the book. Remember, I'm getting people on here so that you guys can engage with licensed mental health practitioners so you can see we ain't no different than you, okay? We just got some training that can help you. You're welcome, Daniel. Hey, Daniel, next time ask a question, my brother. But thanks for the thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody. LaShonda, didn't hear from you tonight, LaShonda. Don't sit in the background there. Ask questions. But thank you, Chris. Everyone, please remember, these are live. This is for you to engage about your mental illness. Everyone has a degree of mental illness, myself included. Everyone. There's nothing to be ashamed of, but we need to work on it. Okay? All right, guys. I'll see you Thursday night. We'll have a great show with Dr. Morera about remote distance learning. Well, it is, I guess, distance learning, but ways to help your kids. If you know somebody struggling, please tune in, okay? Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and then you figure it out from there. All right, people, take it easy. Want to say goodnight? Okay, come say goodnight real quick. Thank you for logging on. Don't forget, we got to work with our kids these days, especially the ones who are home a lot, who need our support, okay? Anything you want to tell people? What happens when how do you deal with pain? What do you tell yourself?
I can handle the pain.
I can handle the pain, exactly. All right, guys, take it easy. I'll see you Thursday night. Don't forget to tune in. Say good night.
Good night.
Okay, take care.